Nebraska football released their week 1 depth chart today. Let's get into it. There's a couple surprises here. First and foremost, Riley Van Poppel is not listed as a starter on the defensive line. Now, I don't know if that has to do with them running 3 fronts versus running 4 fronts. I do think it is interesting though, because I think Riley Van Poppel is an extremely talented player. I think he's a poster child for what they want out of this program. So I'll be really interested to see how that shakes out and how many snaps he actually gets in week 1 against Cincinnati, because currently he is not listed as the starter. He's listed behind Elijah Judy. Let's stay on the defensive line there for a second. Your other starters are Keona Davis and then Williams Winnari. That's a really, really important move for Williams Winnari, because I think there was some thought there that he may not be ready and that he may be behind a guy like Cam Lenhart. It looks like they're neck and neck in the depth chart, but the fact that he appears to be even with Cam Lenhart is a huge win for Nebraska football and the depth on that defensive line. But the big takeaway here is Riley Van Poppel. I'll be super interested to see what his role looks like. I still expect him to play a ton, but I do want to see what that actually looks like, as he's not listed as a starter. Another thing I noticed, the offensive tackle position doesn't appear to have gotten very much in terms of clarity with this first depth chart. You've got 3 guys listed with all oars. That means they're basically tied for first at left tackle, and you've got 2 more listed with an oar at right tackle as well. At right tackle, I do think it's going to be Teddy Prohaska over Tyler Knock. That I think is a little bit more straightforward. Left tackle is super interesting. I think you got Gunnar Gatula there, who may end up being the starter. Elijah Pritchett and Turner Corcoran are also listed there as well. At some point during the course of the season, I fully expect Gunnar Gatula and Elijah Pritchett to end up being your starting tackles, but Matt Rhule said it in his press conference today after the depth chart came out. If the game was to be today, Elijah Pritchett would not be starting. It's nothing off the field, it just needs more consistent production out of Elijah Pritchett. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. One of the other things that I did notice, it does appear TJ Lateef has won that second string job at quarterback behind Dylan Raiola. We knew he'd been having a really good camp and that he had been improving. Coach Rhule also mentioned, hey, you know, if the game's tomorrow, maybe Jalen Gramstad could come in there. He could come in and win games for him as well. But it looks like TJ Lateef has found himself in that second string quarterback position behind Dylan. A great element for him and for Nebraska, because he does have a running part to his game that neither Gramstad or Raiola really possess. Those are my takeaways from the initial depth chart for Nebraska for week 1 against Cincinnati. Let me know what you think.